Welcome to another video. In this episode, we'll be dealing with an article in regards to Canada's new hate speech policy. All right, so all praise to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, and double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. In this video, will be entitled Canada Imprison Anyone Who Has Ever Posted Hate Speech Online. Canada will imprison anyone who has ever posted hate speech online. And this is an article from the People's Voice. All right. And if you can remember, if you can think back to these different videos we've been doing on these different bills, here's my own channel right here. Let's go back through some of these. Now, I just did a video 3 days ago. Republicans voting for a bill that can make Bible illegal. That's the Anti-Semitism Act, right? We go back further than that. There was the UN says dangerous conspiracy theorists must be punished like terrorists. We go back further than that. Let's see here. Just bear with me here momentarily. Yeah, let's keep going. There was also trying to find these different videos we've been doing on these bills and different legislations that's been coming out. Right here, South Dakota and Georgia criminalize key Bible teachings. That was from a month ago. And I may have wound up going past a few videos. There was also one too with the bill C-367 out of Canada. I remember that one too. Let's see here. We find them right here. This is from the UK. Government looks to stop hate preachers from entering the UK. Right. There was that one. Religious persecution in bill C-367. Okay. So there's been all kinds of little different articles and different things going on. There was also Klaus Schwab had made an article saying that humans that refuse to merge with AI would be basically useless to society. So you see a lot of things going on in the works. The left hand is constantly at work, right? So let's just stay circumspect and be mindful of the times that we are living in. Okay. And matter of fact, let's bring a scripture up on that, and then we'll go into the article. If we can get it to come up here. Right. This is going to be Ephesians. I think it's chapter 5. So this would be Ephesians chapter 5. And verse 15. It says, "See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil." And we are in the evil times. All right. So you got to be paying attention to what's going on around you. I'll try to make this video quick and to the point. This is from the People's Voice. It says, Canada to imprison anyone who has ever posted hate speech online. Let's look into it. So this is the president of Canada. I don't know if the dude is the prime minister or president, whatever his title is. He's an authority over Canada. All right. So here it says, the Trudeau regime has introduced an Orwellian new law called the Online Harms Bill, C-63. So it's called the Online Harms Bill, which will give police the power to retroactively search the internet for hate speech violations and arrest offenders, even if the offense occurred before the law existed. So think about that and everything going on. They're trying to come up with this Anti-Semitism Act law, whatever it's called. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but you just saw the other videos that we went over too as well, that we've done over the last few months. Now this one is a bill that can retroactively charge you with hate speech. Now, if we look up the word retroactive, let's bring that up. Right here, retroactively means extending in scope or effect to a prior time or to conditions that existed or originated in the past, especially made effective as of a date prior to enactment promulgation or imposition. So they can go back and charge you for some shit in the past when the bill, like it says here, which will give police the power to retroactively search the internet for hate speech violations and arrest offenders, even if the offense occurred before the law existed. Imagine that. It says this new bill is aimed at safeguarding the masses from so-called hate speech. So think about it. Us preaching the truth, we don't preach the truth for the masses. So this new bill is aimed at safeguarding the masses to keep them dumbed down, right? And to use the word hate speech and whenever they want to. Anything they deem as hate speech. So imagine they can go back and pull up all our videos. Now this is in Canada, of course, but Canada is like a baby brother to America. Okay. You have Britain, which is the big brother. Then you have America, the middle brother. Then you have Canada, who is the baby brother. And these devils are the same devils, like French devils, French Canadian devils. And they Edomites up there too, the same way. It's really the same damn people, man, the Edomites. So you see they moving. Now it says Revolver.news reports the real shocker in this bill is the alarming retroactive aspect. Essentially, whatever you said in the past can now be weaponized against you by today's draconian standards. And that's a word, draconian. Let's look it up real quick if we can. Draconian is an adjective that means extremely severe. The term is often used to describe rules, laws, or punishments that are harsh and unforgiving. The word is derived from the name of the Athenian statesman Draco, who was known for his severe code of laws. And you hear the apostles talk about it all the time, extremely severe. So this law is extremely severe. Let's read that again. It says, essentially, whatever you said in the past can now be weaponized against you by today's draconian standards. Historian Dr. Muriel Blave has weighed in on this draconian law, labeling it outright mad. She points out how it literally spits in the face of all Western legal traditions, especially the one about being punished if you infringe on a law that was valid at the time of committing a crime, right? And they can go get you for some old shit, right? Further attempts by the devil to ensnare us, to keep us from speaking about certain things. But you know what? We still got to do what the Lord said do. Let's just get a few scriptures. I mean, this is not meant to be a long video. This is Isaiah 10 verse 1. It says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. Right. And this is an unrighteous decree. An unrighteous decree. And it was a scripture that popped into my mind. I wanted to get offender. And we'll read that one next. So let's read this again. Isaiah 10 verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment. Don't we want judgment to come? Are we not the needy? And to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey and that they may rob the fatherless. All right. So let's try to read this here in a different translation, see what it gives us. This is the NLT. What sorrow awaits the unjust judges and those who issue unfair laws. And you can read in the parable of the unjust judge, which really describes Esau Edom. The NIV, woe to those who make unjust laws, to those who issue oppressive decrees. ESV, woe to those who decree iniquitous decrees and the writers who keep writing oppression. One more, CSB, woe to those enacting crooked statutes and writing oppressive laws. And if you have never heard of an oppressive law, this is one. Right now, it's only a bill, but it could get signed into law, and it could also come to America. Let's go to Isaiah 29 real quick. And we'll start here. We'll start at 17. Isaiah 29 verse 17. It says, is it not yet a very little while, and Lebanon shall be turned into a fruitful field, and the fruitful field shall be esteemed as a forest. And in that day shall the deaf hear the words of the book, And the eyes of the blind shall see out of obscurity and out of darkness. The meek also shall increase their joy in the Lord, and the poor among men shall rejoice in the Holy One of Israel. And that's now, right? The spiritually deaf, those that were blinded are starting to see the words of the book. It says the meek also shall increase their joy in the Lord, and the poor among men shall rejoice in the Holy One of Israel, as we're doing now. But really, speaking of the kingdom, it says, for the terrible one is brought to naught, and the scorner is consumed. When is that going to be? The terrible one and the scorner is Esau, Edom. When he's brought to naught, that's going to be when he's taken down. We're going to be in the kingdom. It says, for the terrible one is brought to naught, and the scorner is consumed, and all that watch for iniquity are cut off, that make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate. Is this not a snare laid up, making men offenders for a word, that make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate, and turn aside the just for a thing of naught? And that's these damn devils, man. They can't get, they're not gonna be able to get out of this though. I would like to see what the NLT says if we can. Let's just see how it looks. This is the NLT, Isaiah 29:17. It says, soon, and it will not be very long, the forest of Lebanon will become a fertile field, and the fertile field will yield bountiful crops. And that day the deaf will hear words read from a book, and the blind will see through the gloom and darkness. The humble will be filled with fresh joy from the Lord. The poor will rejoice in the Holy One of Israel. The scoffer will be gone, the arrogant will disappear, and those who plot evil will be killed. Those who convict the innocent by their false testimony will disappear. A similar fate awaits those who use trickery to pervert justice, and who tell lies to destroy the innocent. Which really, a lot of times these translations, they make it seem like it's just certain, like it could be any individuals, but that's really not who it's speaking of. It's speaking of the so-called white man Esau, the villain. All right. So as we've been telling you, brothers and sisters, many times, that this word, this way of life, following the Lord, is eventually going to lead to some heavy persecution, and that could include, but not limited to, persecution, imprisonment, and even death. This is Revelation 2 verse 10. It says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. You see the way this is written? It didn't say fear none of those things which you may, possibly you'll suffer. No, it says thou shalt suffer. So all of us gonna have to suffer. We just don't know in what particular way. It could be prison, it could be death, it could be both, it could be torturing, right? We don't know. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. What the devil talking about, brother? Here's a devil right here. Gray, blue-eyed, green, whatever his eyes, devil. Trudeau. Justin Trudeau is a devil. Joe Biden is a devil. Right? Donald Trump is a devil. Vladimir Putin is a devil. Vladimir Zelensky is a devil. Hillary Clinton is a devil. Fear none of those things that thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. So the time may very well come that you will have to go to a prison, a FEMA camp, who knows? And the Lord even spoke on this. This is Luke 21, and the heading says things to come. Luke 21 verse 10, then said he unto them, nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be great earthquakes, Salakia, and great earthquakes shall there be in diverse places, and famines and pestilences, and fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from heaven. And we seeing all of that, right? He says, but before all these, they shall lay their hands on you, and persecute you, and deliver you up to the synagogues and into prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake. So just, we have to qualify this. Now, this persecution and stuff, it did happen to the Lord, to the disciples, to the Apostle Paul. He was speaking of them, but we know that in our own walk, some of these same things are going to happen also to us brothers that preach and teach, and for you believers out there. It could very well happen to you too. and it shall turn to you for a testimony. Like I said, it really was dealing with the apostles, the prophets of old, Yahweh, the 12 disciples and Paul and the other apostles, but it could very well come to brothers that teach today, right? And it shall turn to you for a testimony. Settle it therefore in your hearts, not to meditate before which you shall answer, for I will give you a mouth and wisdom which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist. Okay, so just remember, you're walking on a very narrow path, and it's getting more and more narrow. Shit is gonna get more severe, more draconian, and and oftentimes they'll do these different little not little, but these different bills and things you hear about, before they bring it to America. So right now it's talking, this online harms bill C-63. Watch out. All right. It's in Canada right now, but it could easily come to America. They just they run tests on these other countries, New Zealand, Australia, the UK, Canada, sometime maybe even France, but then eventually they testing it out for America, and they're all a part of the Roman Empire. So you never know what's going to happen. And pretty soon they're going to try to do that whole one world government, one world currency. So hey, if one follows something, all of them could wind up following it. Anyway, keep watching as well as praying. We will see you again soon with another lesson, Lord willing. All praise to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Shalom.